All right, happy Wednesday, everybody. So this week we're starting throw ground one. A little departure from what we did last time. We actually got our ground cut a little short last time because of the vid. And so as we were talking about going back into it, because it's been a while, we thought about actually separating ground out into a couple parts. Because ground by itself is just an absolute ton. And so if you guys remember last time, we did a lot of keyhole and hoppo stuff on the ground. Well, we're going to leave that till after the keyhole and hoppo section. We're taking all the other parts of the mechanics of the throws and ground and kind of putting them together, because there's a lot to know the transition from going into a throw to going down to the ground and vice versa. And so we really wanted to try to address that. Before I do anything, I've been meaning to do this for a while, and I just keep forgetting because of just timing and class and schedules and stuff like that. But Mr. Matt Harper, I need you to come here, please. Just because I gotta get you before you go. Yeah. And this is, we're gonna do some serious colors now. Some really serious colors. And one of the things we haven't seen for a while, because we haven't had some brown belts for a while, is even though we used to do creative demos and stuff like that, we kind of, not to say ixnayed, but kind of put them on hold just because of the pandemic. But we still want to see, when people are going in between brown, some demos. We want to start to see, your interpretation of this art. But this is incredibly well deserved. And just doing great, man. Just keep it up. This thing will get darker and darker. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to start with these classes. The goal is we're going to start with the throw, then do the ground, and then combine it in the end to get kind of the throw down aspect of it. All right. So tonight I'll start the throwing part. We're going to look at Osoto Gake to start. Most of you guys are pretty familiar with this. It's like it can be taught 18,000 different ways. I could probably teach it 15 different ways. Mr. Lay could probably teach it 20.
23.
23. Okay, you kind of. But the premise is, again, to move this person back to this position, come in, take you down. Outer hip clip. The way that I've defaulted to teaching it recently is basically, don't worry necessarily about your hands. Don't worry about pushing them like that. It's going to be very hard considering they're holding on to you. Instead, concentrate on what their hands are doing. Take this hand, put this hand back here, put this hand back here, this hand up here. Okay, and then we can just kind of go. All right. Yeah, there's a tendency when your hands go up and back like that, the tendency is to arch. Especially when that hand gets close, to go like this. If I go lower, you may move, but something like this, the natural tendency is to go backwards. So I want to see you kind of do it light. I want to see you just do it fliction. I don't care what method you use. You guys have seen a lot of them. But I want to see these be very easy. Okay? Go ahead.
But as we know, the fights don't typically kind of start like this and then go, okay, 1, 2, 3. It's not always that clean of a start. So I'm gonna have this kind of be a little bit more movie. And we're going to kind of overhook this arm just a little bit. Similar to that pummeling exercise, shooting over, catching a hold, moving through, taking the throw that way. So you can see Mr. Randy, over here he's grabbing on. We're shooting this over. There's that overhook. I'm just kind of holding it tight to myself, and then I'm moving myself into that place. We're trying to get a little bit of structural breakdown on this side as we move through. Anybody need to see or feel? Of course. Fairly straightforward. Oh, of course. There we go. That's what I like. So right now, this side's kind of what I've got access to. Notice I'm kind of grabbing a hold of gi here. We're moving into this place. There's our drop. Okay? It's a little different.
Listen to these two variations so far, Matt and Barney. The same thing's happening in both situations. Number one, there is no way Matt will ever fall down like this if this hand stays in front of his body. He won't do it. He'll never fall down like that. If this hand is in front of his body, he'll never fall down. All right? In the version I showed, I had his hand back. In the one Mr. Labbay showed, his hand was back. The only thing different was the arm structure. His hand was still behind him, dragging that shoulder out behind his hips. All right? So for rounds, concentrate on what you're doing with this hand. The mechanics are there. Don't worry about the body position. Here. Anyway, just get his hand behind that, and you'll be fine. Okay? Now this hand here, what this does is it makes, if it comes across his body, he's going to turn with me. And that's a problem. So I want this going up and around behind him so it starts jamming into his structure and jamming into his face. I'm not putting any pressure on him. I don't need to. I can, but as this arm gets closer to his body, look what happens to his body. Combine that with this going over here, Matt goes down. Alright? So get this hand, no matter what situation you're in, behind him so it starts pulling that shoulder. Get this arm up next to his face, and they'll go down. Okay? Good.
Overhook variation. I'm not just kind of steaming straight ahead this way. This isn't it. Yeah, notice it's turned into like some sort of strange tango. And we don't do strange tango here. We do tango.
Be real tango.
So, as there's actually a little bit of curveball in here, and a little bit of bringing this down as I'm bringing this in. Slightly different situation here than I'm just going to overhook and walk. He won't really let me do that. Yeah, because later when we move to the ground, hey, we want to be able to be in position to do that. Okay? Keep going.
Go on, Mr. Labbay was saying. So there's another way that people will teach this. They'll teach this as like a steering a big wheel truck. All right, they'll steer this truck, and they'll steer this truck. They'll move around here, and look, same hands behind him, his other hands approaching his face. I've seen people actually do it the other way, where they kind of talk like this. They're turning inside. Hands behind him, his hand is coming to his face. All the same premises are there. You have to find that body position. If you find yourself getting here and you're struggling, like, okay, maybe this hand's up here, but this one's not far enough back. Turn your body. Get that hand back there. Just change your position. Because from here, I can't walk more forward. This side's trapped. Fine. Swivel up. Put that hand back. You'll have them. I see a lot of people get themselves in that position tonight. Does that make sense? So let's just change the other way. So if you find yourself going in here, and like, okay, this arm's going good, this is not far enough back. And like, I can't, I'm gonna push him down with my right arm. Absolutely not. Pivot your body. Get that hand back. And then you'll be fine. Okay? Good.
So same deal. You can use either grip you'd like, whatever you prefer. I encourage you to experiment with both. But we're going to take this down to side control, which you all are familiar with side control. Yes, I'm not mystifying anyone when I say side control. So we're moving in. We're taking here. Right to the side control. I've got under the head. My chest is on his rib cage or chest. If he's flat in his back, my chest is on his chest. This is generally considered, if you are the person on bottom, you don't want their chest on your chest. That's when stuff gets really oppressive. That's when the position gets on. Adam kind of went down like so, and you'll notice I don't kind of have my legs just sort of hanging out behind me. I've scooped my knees up behind his shoulder blades and behind his hips. That way he can't turn into me and escape so easily. If we're all looking good, we'll add a submission to the end of this. Sound good? Cool. Have fun. Thanks, sir. Anybody get the feel? See? Good to see you. Okay. She's grabbing. Oh, I don't like that. Moving right in, just getting right to this position. And you guys can see this is all I'm going. So you can tell.
When you go do this, like the person getting thrown. Right now, we're working on establishing side control as the person falls. The person who's being thrown, please don't try to pull that person down right yet, because then that will just accelerate, and you're gonna have just faces and stuff like that are gonna be hit button matched. Let that person fall, and then the person who did the throw is going to go get into side control. Okay? Throw E, don't try to help them down. Alright, I'll just make you go way faster than you want to at this point in time.
Alright, Yosh. I can put my weight all on Matt, but be over my center of gravity. Does everyone see what I'm saying? I'm very prepped to get rolled this way. I'm gonna have to be fighting back to get in position. I could have my center of gravity back, but my weight not really on Matt very much. He's got a lot of freedom of movement. You could probably escape very easily. Yeah, I don't like that either. What I'd like to do is I'd like him to eat both my weight and keep my center of gravity in a good position. The center of gravity is going to be your hips. So I'm going to scoot my hips back, almost like I'm trying to smash my glutes into my heels. As I do that, my weight comes forward on the chest, so he's eating my chest weight, but you'll probably feel that's not a big difference in weight. That's a difference in center of gravity. We want to be in control of this.
Look at the triangle he's making. Knee, hip, center of gravity back. All right, top triangle. The second this goes over the knees and that triangle is offset, that's when now he's getting in jeopardy of being thrown.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what So look at that triangle he's making right there. That was the same one I was making.
And then if I'm off of my center of gravity and I decide, hey, I'm going to go do something else, I'm going to move somewhere else. Now I'm off balance when I try to move and I'm more counterable. If I'm on balance and I decide I want to go somewhere else, well, now life is getting a lot easier for me here. Yeah, we could start. we won't play that. All right, have fun, guys. Couple more minutes of your, well, a few more minutes of your turn.
Monte, if you feel, Monte, so if you feel like you've gotten this down, if you're still working on getting the transition down, keep working on it. If you feel like you've gotten that down, okay, now let's start doing two things. Let's start controlling where he lands, all right, or how he lands, and let's start controlling this arm, because this arm can easily kind of get in your way, being guy inside control. So if I take him down to Osoto Gake, and I stay really close to this, and this arm stays up, he's kind of landing like that. See? And so now I'm going to have a side control where he's going to be more on his side because I kept myself closer. Right? I kept myself closer throughout, so he just turns more and lands like this. I may want him to. That may be the desire because I may want to be doing something else other than getting into side control. I may want to be breaking this arm or doing something like that. I don't know. All right? But I can control his landing a little bit better. If I really want to be flat on his back, as I go out, I'm actually going to be going out a little bit more this way, so he's just dragged right more flat to the ground. Okay? Now, I see a lot of people, again, this arm's been in here. Well, that's a problem. That's an easy kick out for him. I'm running right into it. God, that's not going to be very fun. I can't really get my leg in there the way I want. And that could suck heading down. So I'm going to make one simple adjustment as I did on the way down. I'm going to just have this arm come back to the inside. So now, if I have that arm trapped, I'm right in there and I can have fun. And all it was just bring that arm back to the inside at the very last, so it'll rise on the outside of my body.
I see that again.
Sure.
Mr. White, you bring that in the inside so that his arm stays on the outside.
Correct. Correct. If I stay like this, all right, if I stay like, that arm's going to come right in as he goes down. So as I take him out and kind of lean him up this way so it makes sure he lands more flat, I'm just going to bring him in. So now I can get in here and have fun. Okay, and I can get really nice up and close. I get the head, I get the elbow. And now that kicking out for him is really hard because I'm up by his shoulders.
And this is a problem.
Yeah, and so to turn his hips and body around to get those knees in is going to be very tough because I have this shoulder and I have this head. Unless he can totally do an exorcist on me and turn his whole body while keeping his head facing that way, that'll be, and that's a nasty shot. I mean, he's coming full bore and I'm boom right there on him. So we see the two things I'm talking about. See if we can adjust so how they land. Do they land here or do they land here? And then put that on the side so we can actually get this thing out of here. Make sense? Anything that?
In general, on the ground and especially in defensive positions, it's a rule of thumb, as in this is a breakable rule, it doesn't always apply, but having your hands on the inside, being the person with your hands on the inside is generally better. So yeah, as Mr. White's pointing out, if we take it down and we leave his hand on the inside, he has space to work with.
Yeah.
He has potential attacks and we want to take his weapons from him.
If you want to control the down a little bit, Mate, if you want to control the down a little bit more, okay, so you feel like you're really kind of, getting pulled into it. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so if I'm by myself, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so step together, step kneel. That way, if you find yourself like You're either bending over, you're having to take another step. The come down is, you're not really feeling comfortable yet. And that last part, I'm feeling yanked into or jumping into it. Then fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. All right. Then we can put this knee down and we can clear. Have fun. All right. Give that footwork a try to just help you maybe keep your record. I've seen a lot of people where they get in here and they're gonna come down and they're just falling into it, which honestly, fine. But I also don't want you guys to actually get like knees to the head for right now. And I think it's more uncontrolled than and accidental than kind of controlled and on purpose.
If you're gonna fall, then it needs to be your choice too.
Right, yeah, exactly. Do it on purpose, not by accident, please. All right, so try that footwork if you want.
We didn't talk about this yet, but tilt in the hips as we're going down. If I have Miss Jackie here, and I'm working through, and I say, hey, I'm going to do that really cool Tokuyoshi variation, and here's where we start. We'll rotate a little bit so we can kind of see. And here I am, kind of going for my side control. Does anyone see an issue right now?
Yeah, you're about 4 miles off.
I am, and I'm also very, very tilted. I'm very off balance. Jackie could probably legit throw me over her right now. Or me. But either way, I don't have my weight on her. I'm actually kind of off balance. And if my job is to try to hold down side control and I have a hip up, I'm better off just dropping that hip and going for something more like a case katame. So, you know, some sort of scarf hold variation. If I'm in side control, I want my chest parallel to the floor, not tilted. This is dangerous. This is off balance. Okay? Keep going.
Jack. Okay, so we've gotten down. Let's find a way, a nice, easy, clean way to finish this. So I've got our hands back. I've gotten that Tokuyoshi. I've gotten here, and I've gotten to here. All right. So everyone's gotten to this position pretty easily. Now there's chokes. There's a bunch of stuff from here. One of the easiest ones to do is I'm going to push up and get my hand under her armpit and tricep, so I'm really kind of tight to the back of her head. My knees are right behind her too. All right. So I got this arm trap, this arm trap. From here, I'm going to move forward. My body's physically going to totally move forward, and I'm going to punch the ground to here. So I have this kind of crucifix. It's aspect going on right now. So this is not comfortable on Jack, and I'm actually pretty comfy. And I got to throw this in here too. How you doing?
It's not great.
All right. And I mean, obviously, I can just boom, 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 boom. You know, got a whole bunch of stuff. Not on her wrist, please. There's not enough torque. It's here. So I'm really right to the back of her neck, right under her armpit, and I'm just gonna straighten my arm up. And then lean to the side, and we got a great time. Okay?
Pretty good.
Remember what I told you about this morning, that JP special?
Yeah. So you might want to feel it. You don't feel it? It is uncomfortable. Yeah. So looking down. Here?
Yep. Oh boy.
That was a fun sound.
Yeah. Right behind his neck here, tight. And I'm not gonna, you can do a couple versions where you sit up and pull him into it. He's a little bit bigger, larger, so I'm actually gonna lean forward and kind of move myself into it this way. And I have all this right, boom, 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 to play.
May I add a quick note for folks, just on the arm? So if we kind of reverse, if we rewind and kind of back to the original takedown here, Adam's got his elbow down here. Mr. White's not just kind of hand pushing this up. We're being since we're being gentle and there's no resistance, it's pretty good. He's still using his body as he pushes this up. There's still hip action there. Everyone see that? Yeah. I just want to make sure we're not trying to hand push that because people will stop that every time.
Yeah, and Shako Kens in here work nicely too.
Only because I don't as much as possible. Which part of Adam's anatomy was stressed the most?
All of it? No, it's
the soul.
It's just the neck and just the shoulders. Yeah, it's not like a rear naked choke feeling. It's just compression. It's lots of compression. Yeah. Do you want to feel it? No, that's fine. If you got some neck issues, We'll find a different alternative.
Yeah, no, I have neck and shoulders.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
shoulders are
So if you have neck and shoulder issues, then if you have neck and shoulder issues, and you like this, please don't do that to me. That would really stink. Boom. So you've gotten to this position here, cleared out. All right. Just simply cross out in front. All right. Cross out front and just hammer down on this choke. It's perfectly fine.
Oh, yeah, Mr. White, bring that, please.
Yeah. Okay. You feel? Yeah. Oh, you're all about that. Your grandma? Okay. So you just in here.
You're gonna
here.
defend
Keep that tight down in here.
You're gonna go to his side?
Okay. Now the more I can get him turned to his side, let's see if there's any more on your side. Here, I'm getting deeper.
The last thing I'm.
Yeah. And I'm grabbing and I'm putting my body right on that. You know, it's not gonna choke him out, but man, it's gonna make him think about what he's doing. I'm gonna have to put shots in there real quick, and then we're out. Okay. Come on, enjoy.
This is right up your alley.
So I'm in here. So it really looks like this is like a reverse bicep curl to pull him up. It's really not. I'm planted here. I'm gonna change the planes with it. If I pull my shoulder up, my arm straightens. I'm now gonna go more of a 45 slant this way, having my shoulder pull my arm straight. As I do that, I just follow it right behind. And now I get behind it. I'm not using any part of my arm musculature to do this. I'm straightening my arm by having my shoulder go up. Do we see that? It looks like this is all arm. There's no arm muscle in this. I'm just holding on to here. And then my shoulder going up pulls my arm straight. My shoulder going up in this way gets me right behind him. No arm muscles were used in the making of this demo. Okay? Do we understand? So it's the upness that does this. The stretching out of the arm. Not the arm doing some weird curl.
Mr. White, you're a much bigger guy. If you're 6 foot something.
Oh, you'd have so much more leverage.
Or so Jacob.
Oh, yeah. He would have a lot more leverage than potentially do. So it could, yeah. But even then, the arm straight is an arm straight, so it's not going to be dramatically different, right? I mean, an arm straightening out is an arm straightening out. As long as it's in the right place, it'll be fine. It could actually, if that's the case, make a point that actually a person with shorter arms might be an issue, because they're going to get to straight faster. They're going to raise the side.
one of the big guys doing on a side like Jackie is super flexible. Did that make any impact on how effective it is?
He did it to me earlier, and I was like choking on air. Yeah.
To actually add to that, if they have the flexibility for the shoulder to get into a worse position, you're doing better than if it gets stopped here. You have more leverage, and they have to cross that much more space to get their shoulder. By the time everything's that far out of position, it's really hard to produce any force to bring it back.
And your chin's not going to go further than this chest. I mean, you have flexibility because you have air and room to move. I'm collapsing her into her chest, which I have my knees behind. Mm-hmm. You know, so she's just getting crunched. Yeah. And then yes, can you add a little bit of sideways flavor into the shoulder to make it even better? So as I sit up and get behind him, I notice his shoulder a little loose. So I then move back in a little.
There we go.
So I widen my stance a little bit so I keep my arm out so I put more pressure into here. Okay? So there's a little variation, but not overly a ton. It's the fact that you're like, you said that your neck wants to be there and it's not, and you're stretched out like that.
It feels like when you do it, when you just go up.
All my body does is bend a little bit, but when you add that other plane,
That's when the
I'm
shoulder
kind of
rolls.
rolling up, and it
Yep.
hurts so much
Yep.
more.
So do you understand it's the shoulder going up this way that straightens the arm because it has to, because I've locked my hand down into the ground, so my shoulder has to straighten. It's not me going, I mean, I don't have the room to do that, right? There's no room for me to be able to do that. I have to do it this way. Make sense?
It sounds like you want to use your body more.
You know, that's what I'm really trying to put down. I don't know if it's taken, but yes. Yes.
I get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard. Ground movement, you know, ground work results in strength a lot. Ninjutsu on the ground is hard. It's really small. Jack, you're off. So now that we're, I think it's Louis doing this too, so I just want to have it. So we're really small, and we're really kind of dealing with somebody bigger. We've gotten down here, we've gotten power, we've gotten here pretty well, you know. We've actually sat up, we're starting to really do it, but we still feel like, man, they got a lot of strength. I'm gonna start now turning myself a little bit more around them like this to force that head down a little bit more. I'm gonna bring my hips up, I'm gonna switch. Get this up in here now. I'm gonna start going back in here a little bit. So I can start getting away from those legs a little bit more. Okay? So now I actually, so now I have this whole side open, I have more of this open, the whole 9 yards. I don't have to worry about those knees quite so much. Coming in because she may try to kick me, whatever she, and that's a bad idea. Because she wants to kind of crouch in like a fetal position, take the pressure off that. So the more I can actually pull her hip back into this, the worse it kind of gets. So if she tries to kick that leg up at me, we take her hip back. And that puts pressure on that. And then we also throw shot pins in there at the same time.
Pull on leg to break neck.
Yeah. Pull on the, yeah. Now she's switching. Okay, so now not everybody can physically get into this, but if you're small and you're nimble and you can get into that, that's a great one to know. Because you can just like really get up right by that. Oh, just kind of, oh man, what a nice little position to have. Okay? I don't know if you guys would be able to do it if you want to try it, but this is something I want you to be able to get. All right, good.
I'm small enough to verb it on the other end. This is not even a consideration.
All right, so you see, like, you know, the goal of these classes, hold on, guys. The goal of these classes is to like, look at two facets. You know, to look at the throat, to look at the ground, but again, you know, really also look at the in between, the up to the down. You know, and finishing off. And so we could have taken, you know, Osoto Gake and turned it into guard. Yeah, we could have taken Osoto Gake and you can, you know, turn it into mount easily. You know, and so that's what's going to be just a lot of mixing and matching. Because you may purposely want to go do it, you may accidentally get pulled into that position. Because that person does have a tight grip and you're going down, maybe the Osoto Gake was great. Able to pull you down, great, you can work from there. Or you can work from anywhere. Does that make sense? Questions, thoughts, how's everybody's next doing? Yeah. Jackie's feeling things.
Yeah.
So long.
We got a hold. We got a couple positions in there. We got a couple throw variants. Good class.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Osoto Gake to me it's like a mystery. Because I spent my first year here, you know, thinking, well, what happened to Osoto Gake?
Oh, yeah.
I finally cleared my head out of that, and then I got a version of it that always worked.
Yeah.
And then we came back tonight, and then it didn't work.
It's one of those ones that like you have to have done it a lot. There's a lot of repetitions. You know, it's an easy one to lose. I think it's probably one of the easier ones to lose.
But it's absolutely foundational.
But it's absolutely foundational. And I think so far there's a guy with a zillion different ways to teach it. And I'm trying to help out by saying, but look at all the consistencies. Look at the consistencies. Yeah, just you know, look at the result. That's my way of trying to help out. I don't know if it is or not. But yes, you'll see.
Oh no, it helps. I'm just commenting. You know, it's like the acquisition of technique. It's like it's not a little.
No.
I can give you a sneak peek. Is on Saturday we're going to use Osoto Gake on Osoto Gake, and we're going to change the feel of it a little bit. Where I think you might have an easier time sort of maybe feeling your way through what we're looking at. Because like Mr. White said, yeah, there's a million ways to teach it. There's a lot of ways to get there. We practiced. I mean, we did a whole year. You guys did a lot of Osoto Gake, sort of just moving through kama and taking space that way. Now we're dealing with this is just a bit messy. So cool, good. Real life is messy.
Yeah.
I'll just say too. The other thing I noticed is Lynn and Jack are the two hardest people to do this to, because any little rupture in your technique comes out with the both of you. Because you know the application of force is just so apparent to on the both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you push Jackie, she just goes, wee, flies away.
Yeah. No, it's true.
And if you're being on, you know, to be.
No, and I honestly don't know if it's a gender thing or not, but I trained for many years with Cindy Boyer, Dr. Cindy Boyer, for decades, you know, just me and her. And I don't know if it was just the innate sense of balance or something like that. Cindy Soames, just the politics like is the same way. Sense of balance is just like right there. And then that thing is up, boom, they will get back into position every single time.
Center of gravity has a wider ratio to the upper body. You guys have wider hips, and you have a lower center of gravity. So that's something that's important to keep in mind. This is the same reason a guy with narrow shoulders, but thick thighs, thick thighs and hips will have the same, effect.
And I think honestly, it's just guys are stupider. They think they can fight from this angle. Female is smart. I'm not gonna go. I can't fight from that angle. I can't help myself. I can't work from that. So, but yes, I always found that these guys are a pain in the ass. But it makes you have to have good technique. So it's good to know.
Boy, that's a very tall woman though.
She is, and she's very athletic and very, very well balanced. So. Man, totally perfect. We did it. So. All right, guys. Good job. All right. Good job.